Drink, Explore Media's Market Fresh, live every Thursday evening right here on Crush 92.5 FM. Now, broadcasting live from the heart of downtown San Luis Obispo, here's your host, Randall White.
And a very good Thursday evening as we kick off yet another live edition here of Market Fresh, heard each week from 5 until 6 o'clock, right here on Crush 92.5 FM. It is the 11th day now of April 2013. You have less than a week to do your taxes, just a little reminder. If you haven't done that already. Not nearly as warm today as that brief summer-like day we had yesterday. Usually, like, those trends kind of last for a couple of days. It was like windy, cold, hot, windy, cold, windy. It was sort of odd how that worked out, but I enjoyed it while it lasted. Too bad it's not that way for tonight's farmers market. As we take a peek down onto Higuera Street, because, you know, we broadcast just above Higuera between Osos and Morro in the heart of downtown San Luis Obispo. And if you ever want to check us out online through our free apps in the Apple App Store or through the Android, what do they call that? Google Play, the Google Play Store. Just search Eat, Drink, Explore. You can watch the show from your phone if you like. But we're looking down and they're starting up the fires right now to grill up some meats at the farmers market. The activity really picks up over the hour course of our show. Just ahead in our fresh news segment, California has several new official, they have a state fruit, state nut, state vegetable, and a state grain. And we'll run down the list to see what the winners are. I guess, would that be a winner? Actually, it was, because it was an online poll, is how they did it this time around. And then also ahead on our show, we are speaking with a local San Luis Obispo County man who is an expert in the craft of forging quality cutlery. He's been a chef, too. He knows how important a good knife can be. And then in the 5:30 half hour, we're taking you to a vegetarian oasis in downtown San Luis Obispo for some tips on cooking great plant-based meals. We'll share a recipe during that segment as well. And then, as always, we round out the show with a look at tonight's Higuera Street Market, including the entertainment lineup and then a vendor spotlight. Tonight it's kiwi, and you want to hear this because you're running out of time to pick up fresh kiwi at the market. Our Thursday evening Market Fresh program comes to you, as I said, from the heart of San Luis Obispo. Our goal is pretty simple, to get you in touch with the acronym FLOSS. That's FLOSS, stands for Fresh, Local, Organic, Seasonal, Sustainable. Pick which one of those or several of those that you like, and at some point we'll be covering it here on the show. And we're physically located at the Slow Thursday night market, but we highlight offerings available at any one of your favorite San Luis Obispo or Santa Barbara County markets. So if you know of a great Central Coast farmers market vendor, if you have a favorite restaurant that features locally grown produce, or does your bartender mix up an amazing farm-to-glass cocktail? Well, just let us know. Drop us an email anytime. The address is radio@eatdrinkexplore.com. You can also join us on Twitter and Facebook as well. In fact, all of our social media accounts, YouTube, all end with /eatdrinkexplore. Essentially, that's our username for all of them. We invite you to join us on Sunday mornings from 8 to 10 here on the Crush 92.5 FM for our weekly Eat, Drink, Explore signature broadcast. We call it Sunday Fun Day because it typically is, focused on current trends in food, beverages, travel, and tourism. It's our goal each Sunday to give you the tools you need to enjoy California's treasures in a healthy, sustainable, and community-focused manner. All right, this hour of Eat, Drink, Explore Radio brought to you by Eberly Winery in Paso Robles. Open daily from 10 in the morning till 6 o'clock in the evening with complimentary wine tasting and cave tours. Voted by Wine Spectator as one of the best tours on the Central Coast. Eberly Winery, located on 46 East in Paso Robles. You can log on to eberlywinery.com for more information. All right, the Fresh News Report, great guests, and another fun night at the downtown San Luis Obispo Market, all straight ahead on this edition of Market Fresh.
It's Market Fresh on Crush 92.5 FM.
California business owners, entrepreneurs, farmers, authors, and other professionals, this message is for you. We're looking to highlight those of you who give back to the community, care about the environment, and have the health of our state as part of your business model or focus. Our new California Love website is in the beta testing phase. So, during the next few months, we're offering free listings to qualified people or business entities. It's a win-win situation. You help populate our site with quality, locally owned California companies, and we help direct customers to your business or product. Simply head over to CALUV.com. That's CA as in California, LUV as in a cute way to spell love.com, and enter the information for your business today. Why wouldn't you? It's easy and it's free. CALUV.com, the California Love Business Recommendation Tool. 5:06 the time now on this Thursday evening. Time to tap into the Market Fresh grapevine for the latest news affecting the fresh food and beverages that you've come to love here in California. A new study by researchers at the University of Texas shows the world's top wine-producing regions, California included, could lose up to 75%, three-quarters of their suitable cropland within the next 40 years. Climate change, the reason behind the prediction, published in the first study to look into how the warming planet could impact viticulture. While areas we currently think of as wine-growing hotspots will likely lose land, other areas considered inhospitable now will see their climates shift, creating a favorable atmosphere for growing grapes. The study points to the Yellowstone National Park area. Can you imagine? We're going to Yellowstone for wine tasting. And portions of Canada's Yukon territory, according to Decanter Online. All right, time to see how your favorite vegetables and fruits are maturing around the state with the California Crop Report, and continuing with the viticulture theme, the state's grapevines are continuing to leaf out. I'm actually seeing this in my backyard home right now with our Cabernet vine we have back there. Late harvest navel oranges and lemons are still being harvested, as are Valencia oranges, those are the juice oranges, and Hass avocados. On the veggie side of things, spring onion, yum, garbanzo beans, and the garlic crops are all going well, while asparagus, broccoli, and head lettuce are being harvested. So look for those at the market tonight or whichever market you hit up throughout the week. Corn plantings started last week. California has a whole new list of official produce items, including a state fruit, vegetable, nut, and grain. Yeah, Lieutenant Governor Gavin Newsom didn't waste any time making a proclamation earlier this week. It was one of his very first official duties while Governor Brown is out of the state. He's over in China right now, actually pushing some of our ag crops over there. So while Newsom's in his place, acting as governor in his absence, he decided to name a few official produce items. For the official state vegetable, it's the artichoke that came out the winner. I could see that because we're a huge grower of artichokes. In fact, we have those statistics coming up in just a little bit. So let's see. The artichoke, for the fruit, it's the avocado. People think of avocado as a vegetable, I think, just because it's more on the savory side. But it's a fruit. And as the state nut, that goes to the almond, and the state grain is rice. We did not have any of those before. Lots of states do, and when you think California is so heavy with the produce, we never had any official state ones. I guess maybe because we make so many, or grow so many. California produces more than 99% of the artichokes grown domestically. Most of those grown right here on the Central Coast, centered up in the Salinas Valley. As for avocados, we produce 90% of the national output. Orchards are located coastally, mostly San Luis Obispo South, but there are a few orchard strands that have popped up in Monterey County. But San Diego County produces 60% of the Hass avocados grown in the state. And it is Hass, like your rear end, or like grass. California produces a whopping 100% of the nation's almond crop. That's it. There's just not another single almond tree anywhere outside the state, mostly up in the Chico Redding area, making it our third largest money crop. And then as for rice, we are the second largest producing state behind Arkansas. The proclamation was made earlier this week, and as I understand it, it lasts through the year. I have a call in to the Lieutenant Governor's office. They have not gotten back to me yet on the details of how long those will be our official produce items. Last week, we told you that this week we'd be interviewing the state expert on the Asian citrus psyllid during this news segment. However, our phone service has been down all day, and we are not able to bring that guest to you, sadly. We can tell you, though, that a quarantine is now in place for Santa Barbara County after the insects were spotted there. There was one spotted in Santa Maria, Goleta, I believe a third location as well. That's according to the Santa Maria Times. Ventura County, or Ventura, depending on how you say it, L.A., Orange, and portions of San Bernardino and Riverside counties are also affected. Backyard citrus trees are apparently a big problem in controlling the pest. When you think of the number of people that have orange or lemon trees in their backyard, they're not part of, all of the insect management that's going on. So they have a hard time keeping this Asian citrus psyllid in check. Could be a big problem cause some major damage to the state's incredibly large citrus crop. For more information on how you can help, you can check out CaliforniaCitrusThreat.org. That's all one word, CaliforniaCitrusThreat.org. We will be speaking with the guy who heads that whole effort next week on the show when our Blue Rooster Telecom phones are working. All right, let's get a check of the forecast right now. And in a word, breezy. I'm looking outside right now, and yeah, the trees are moving. It's cooler, definitely, than yesterday, but when I put the temperatures in for tonight's event, it's actually warmer than it was last week at this same time. So 6 o'clock market start should be about 63 degrees. 9 o'clock, when everyone wraps up, about 54 degrees. Sky is crystal clear out there. Winds, however, in the 20-mile-an-hour range, gusts even stronger than that, coming out of the west-northwest, which is probably why they're so cool. So there's your Market Fresh forecast. We do want to encourage you to engage with us tonight, and every week for that matter, via Facebook and Twitter. In fact, if you watch us on Ustream, there's a social stream window that's just off to the right-hand side. And if you throw us a question via Twitter or one of those, we are happy to respond while on air. And if the question at hand has to do with one of our guests, then we'll be happy to ask the question for you. We would take your phone calls, but we can't. Not today, because it's down. Oh, wow. I just got a whiff of, I don't know if they're making tri-tip or what it is, but the smell just came through the window, and you got to come down here. It's gonna be a good night. It always is. They've lots of great food at the market, and they are setting up their booths right now. One of the things that you can see if you watch the video simulcast. All right. Did I mention that the Market Fresh forecast is compliments of weatherelement.com? Chris Arndt over there. Thank you for setting us up with the tools we need to give you the most accurate forecast possible, weatherelement.com. All right, when we return, we are speaking with the man behind Custom Knives Forged. Is that the right verb? Forged? Okay, good. Forged right here on the Central Coast. It's part of our Edible Slow series, and our guest, Don Andrade, will be featured in the spring edition of the magazine. Comes out at your local retailer or farmer's market on the 15th, Monday. All right. It's a great resource. It's free, and it's available at just about every farmer's market locations. And there are current copies of the previous Edible Slow out there still too, right? Circulating. Yeah, there's a few of them, we're told. So get that one, because lots of great information, recipes, all kinds of things. Really puts you in touch with the local foodie scene. All right, you're listening to the Market Fresh Report live from the setup of the Thursday Night Farmers Market on Higuera Street. I'm your host, Randall White, and we are back in just a moment, cutting things up.
It's Market Fresh on Crush 92.5 FM.
Randall White here, host of Eat, Drink, Explore Radio, with a tip for Central Coast wine tasting. Eberly Winery was recently voted Winery of the Year by the world's top sommeliers and has one of the best local tours according to Wine Spectator. Eberly Winery open daily 10 to 6, and the winery's cave tours and wine tasting always complimentary. It's easy to find, too. Located on Highway 46 East, just 3.5 miles from Highway 101. Now it's time to plan your visit. Just head to eberlywinery.com.
Seems everybody's going organic, including lawn care. Did you know communities across the country are converting their lawns, playgrounds, and playing fields to an organic care program? And it's working. You can safely control weeds and pests and have a beautiful lawn. Your kids, pets, and water supplies will be safer, and your neighbors will be green with envy. Oh, and in the long run, organic lawn care is cheaper than doing it the conventional way. Switch to organic lawn care today. Visit pesticidefreelawns.org. The folks who brought you this public service message. Check out pesticidefreelawns.org today.
California business owners, entrepreneurs, farmers, authors, and other professionals, this message is for you. We're looking to highlight those of you who give back to the community, care about the environment, and have the health of our state as part of your business model or focus. Our new California Love website is in the beta testing phase. So, during the next few months, we're offering free listings to qualified people or business entities. It's a win-win situation. You help populate our site with quality, locally owned California companies, and we help direct customers to your business or product. Simply head over to CALUV.com. That's CA as in California, LUV as in a cute way to spell love.com, and enter the information for your business today. Why wouldn't you? It's easy and it's free. CALUV.com, the California Love Business Recommendation Tool.
Market Fresh, broadcasting live from the heart of downtown San Luis Obispo. Here's your host, Randall White.
5:19 now the time on this beautiful Thursday evening. Breezy, beautiful and breezy. Thursday night. Live from downtown San Luis Obispo. This is Market Fresh from the Eat, Drink, Explore Radio Network. I am your host, Randall White, and we're very happy to have you here on Crush 92.5 FM. Hope you enjoyed the music interlude of our theme song. We had that in place there, and I hope you liked it. Hey, it is time to talk custom knives. And I have a couple of very good chef friends who, when they come to my kitchen, they're appalled. Like, They can't even. They're like, you cut with this? Randall, this is awful. And this has been going on for more than a decade. They always harass me about my knives, and they say, just go out and just get one good knife. That's all you need. Any chef will tell you. You know, you can get the whole lineup of knives, which is better, but at least get one perfect one. Well, you know how I am about buying all things local and love to support the local craft community, especially. Don Andrade joins us in studio right now. He's with California Custom Knives. That's over in Los Osos. And Don, that's exactly what he does. He forges that one knife that you need. Don, thanks for joining us here on the program today.
Yeah, thank you for having me on.
So you were previously a chef, correct?
I was trained as a chef right out of high school. I went to culinary school in Los Angeles and enjoyed that quite a bit, and spent some time with some restaurateurs opening restaurants in and around Los Angeles and Pasadena area. Okay. And learned a lot, actually.
Yeah. And so you know what my chef friends are talking about when they harass me?
I know exactly what they're talking about. Because the other thing I do is I teach people, along with my sweetheart, how to cook whole foods for health and happiness, and people adjusting their diet so for well-being. And oftentimes we are in homes of clients, and they have knives that are mostly just horribly dull.
Right.
Oftentimes they have amazing knives, but they're just dull.
You know, I actually have one knife that I think of as being a really good knife, and I think you're right. I think it might just be dull. Is it difficult to sharpen a knife?
Not normally. Oftentimes, lesser expensive knives that are just not going to hold an edge well because of the quality of the steel.
That's the big part, right?
That's really the big deal, you know. And oftentimes stainless steel knives can be very difficult to sharpen. Anything made after 1987 is recycled steel. So if you bought a knife, from Macy's last month, it's probably could be like a recycled Yugo bumper that the steel was made out of.
Really? Post 1987?
Yeah.
That's interesting. I didn't know that.
It's something that a lot of people don't know, actually.
Yeah.
A Henkel or a Wusthof, any of those big, German companies that you buy that was made in the 80s or earlier, is a pretty good knife, actually. And the older ones are hand forged. Ones from the 30s and the 40s, they're actually handmade knives.
All of the knives my parents have at their house are definitely pre-1987, and they were from buying a certain number of groceries at the local grocery store.
Yeah.
And then, you got these knives, but they really held up a long time. You don't see that quality anymore when you go out and pick things up at, I'm not going to Target or Bed Bath & Beyond, whatever. Yeah. It's just not there.
Yeah, it was the good old days. I mean, those knives aren't horrible. It just depends on what you like, I mean, what I'm doing is really, I was an artist for 20 years, working as a sculptor, doing bronze sculpture, and then carving stone for 15 years. And, my knives are really art as much as they are a highly functional chef knife.
So you combine two passions, your culinary passion with your artist side, and you make these just beautiful, what would you call that, cutlery?
It really is cutlery. Yeah. I mean, my primary reason is to inspire people to cook their own foods at home. I mean, so many people just get swayed into inexpensive foods out. People are busy, and next thing you know, you've eaten Taco Bell like 4 times in a week because it only costs you $2. And
and the time thing.
It happens. People get swayed into that, and I think once people realize for their own health and well-being that they can be cooking at home once they get a little bit of practice. And a lot of the practice is really actually how to use a knife, because, unless you're just going to open a package and dump it in and heat it up,
right,
you're going to cut something up. I mean, you're going to go down to farmer's market and you're going to get whole foods, right? And they're, the way Mother Nature brought them to us. And you're going to have to do something with it. And, unless you have a magic wand that's going to make it fall into beautifully shaped pieces for you, then you're going to have to learn how to use a knife.
You're good for this show for several reasons, not just your knives, but your food philosophy is right on target with us. We were talking artichokes off air, and that's how I knew that our knife at home really wasn't up to snuff, because I wanted to cut that top part of the thistle or the flower off, because it is kind of sharp and, at the very top of the leaves. My mom taught me to cut the top off and then pour a little olive oil in there and cut the thing in half and stuff like that. But you fight with an artichoke if your knife isn't right.
Yeah. I mean, that's, serrated knives sometimes get a bad rap, but actually I really like them. And that's where a serrated knife really comes in handy, because those things, it's a big thistle. I mean, it's a big fibrous thing that you got to cut through. And they're amazing. It's my mom's favorite vegetable. And I actually, of all the years I've been around kitchens and even worked, with grilled foods and stuff like that, I ate a grilled artichoke for the first time only like 4 years ago. And that is just a natural.
Seriously, I just about fell over backwards when I had mine. It was at, what's the name of that place east of, or I guess it would be south of Santa Maria, kind of back up in the hills, and they're famous for their tri-tip and stuff. I can't even think of the name of that place. Anyway, I went there, and one of the things they do is they grill up artichokes.
Yeah.
And I took a couple of bites, and I know it was like also laden in salt and butter and stuff like that, but it was really one of the best things I had ever had in my life.
Yeah,
and we're
very good.
Getting right into the heart of artichoke season. So, how do you fashion these knives? You must have a studio there in Los Osos, and you have to don't you have to get the metal really hot?
You've got to get it pretty hot. So I forge all of my blades. There are a lot of handmade knife makers that do what's called stock reduction, where they'll actually cut the profile of what the knife looks like, and they'll grind all the geometric aspects of what a knife is into the steel. So the bevel that comes down to the edge, or if you look on the top of a knife as it gets thinner towards the tip, that's called a distal taper. But I actually forge all that in hot. So I start with a piece of essentially like a rectangular piece of high carbon tool steel, and I heat it up in the forge, and on the anvil with various shapes hammers, I put all of that shape into the knife. So really 90% of the geometry of what makes a knife look like a knife as far as shapes is all done hot.
So you sit there and you pound it out, and then how do you make it so it's so nice and smooth the way a knife would be smooth? That's also with the pounding?
No, I get it as smooth as I can, which is probably a lot smoother than some people. My mentor, Tai Gu in Arizona, who has taught me since 2006, he's a master metalsmith, taught me how to forge really, really well. And then with a lot of practice, I've gotten better at it. Because you're using a hammer, so you don't want to put big dents in the blade, because you got to work past that eventually.
Right.
So there's a material on the outside called scale that is coming out of the steel as you're heating it. It's essentially a thick oxidization when it comes out of the forge into the oxygen atmosphere of that we're breathing. It oxidizes, and there's a layer of that on there when the piece is finished being forged, and that's got to be taken off, and then you have to remove the last maybe 10% down to the final geometry before I do the heat treatment. And I've done that for 6 years now, all by hand, using files, draw filing. I did just buy a machine that most other knife makers have, and I'm starting to use that a little bit.
So you make several different sizes. You make like the standard chef size knife. What's the most popular size? Because a lot of people probably can only afford to buy one really good one, I'm guessing.
I think the most popular size is right around a 6 to 7 inch, like classic French knife size. Yeah. I mean, that'll do everything in your kitchen that you need to do, really.
Well, Don Andrade, you have so much more to say, and people can find out what you have to say by getting the Edible Slow magazine. You're featured in it this coming, the spring edition, which hits your newsstands on the 15th, which is this coming Monday. And so they can learn all about the process of forging the knives and how they're just made right here locally. So keep your food local and cut it up locally.
That's right, yeah. And you can visit my website at californiacustomknives.com and follow me on Facebook and also on Blogger.
So californiacustomknives.com. Also online edibleslow.com or on their Facebook page, which is /edibleslow. Don, thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much for having me.
And stick around, everyone, because just after the break, I hope she's not here yet, so we might have a whole other segment together, Don.
Okay. Market Fresh on Crush 92.5 FM.
California business owners, entrepreneurs, farmers, authors, and other professionals, this message is for you. We're looking to highlight those of you who give back to the community, care about the environment, and have the health of our state as part of your business model or focus. Our new California Love website is in the beta testing phase. So, during the next few months, we're offering free listings to qualified people or business entities. It's a win-win situation. You help populate our site with quality, locally owned California companies, and we help direct customers to your business or product. Simply head over to caluv.com. That's CA as in California, LUV as in a cute way to spell love.com, and enter the information for your business today. Why wouldn't you? It's easy and it's free. caluv.com, the California Love Business Recommendation Tool.
Seems everybody's going organic, including lawn care. Did you know communities across the country are converting their lawns, playgrounds, and playing fields to an organic care program? And it's working. You can safely control weeds and pests and have a beautiful lawn. Your kids, pets, and water supplies will be safer, and your neighbors will be green with envy. Oh, and in the long run, organic lawn care is cheaper than doing it the conventional way. Switch to organic lawn care today. Visit pesticidefreelawns.org. The folks who brought you this public service message. Check out pesticidefreelawns.org today.
At the American Lung Association, we're fighting for a day when we can all breathe easier. We're fighting for clear skies over every city and healthy lungs throughout the country. We're fighting to free millions of Americans from the addictive grip of tobacco and the devastating effects of lung disease. The American Lung Association isn't just fighting for air, we're fighting for all the things that make it worth breathing, and we can use your help. See what you can do at fightingforair.org.
Market Fresh, broadcasting live from the heart of downtown San Luis Obispo. Here's your host, Randall White.
And a very good Thursday evening. 5:33 now the time. It is shaping up to be a nice night again for the Thursday night farmers market in downtown San Luis Obispo. That is where we broadcast this show from live each and every week between 5 and 6 o'clock right here on Crush 92.5 FM. We're so lucky to have a bird's eye view of the market. We're directly above Pete's Coffee and Tea, if you're familiar with downtown San Luis Obispo, between Osos and Morro. And we do a video simulcast online as well. So if you're watching that, you can see they're getting all the tables set up with their table coverings. The fires are burning. The meat's being thrown on, some veggies in some case, lots of corn. They like to grill up the corn here at the market, which is delicious. And tonight, we're looking for breezy conditions. Really breezy, actually. Winds around the 20-mile-an-hour range out of the west-northwest. Sky is crystal clear, though. Just some milky clouds out there. And then at 6 o'clock, right when the market begins, we're looking for 63 degrees, 9 o'clock in the mid-50s. So, nice sweatshirt or sweater. Come on down to the market and enjoy yourself. All right, I am your host, Randall White, and during this segment of the show, we are chatting vegetarian or even vegan in some cases. I have really switched over to that as my primary diet. I'm a flexitarian. If you heard our show last week, we had Dawn Jackson Blattner, author of The Flexitarian Diet, on the show, and I realize that is what I am because there's a fraction of the time, about 5% of my diet, where I go off track. But the rest of the time, I'm all about plant-based. And because of that, because I've switched over to this diet, I've really been experimenting with restaurants in town that I wanted to try, but it just never got around to. And one of those places is Roxanne's Cafe. So if you know where Higuera Street kind of makes that turn right there at Marsh, off to your left-hand side if you're heading south, you'll see Smiling Dog Yoga. And right behind Smiling Dog Yoga is the cutest little outdoor cafe. And I was told the last time I was there that if it's raining, it doesn't matter because they have a nice overhang and they bring out these little heaters and everyone just enjoys themselves anyway. They're only open for lunch, though, Monday through Saturday. So I decided I want to talk to Roxanne more than just while I'm here nibbling on my sandwich on a lunch break. I want to really talk to her. So we are bringing Roxanne into the mix right now to chat about the challenges of cooking with just plants. And Roxanne Lapouillard, thank you so much for joining us today here on Market Fresh.
Thank you for having me here.
Yes, well, I fell in love with your place the minute I went there. And there's just such a great vibe. And if you sit in the right area, you can sort of look at the top of Cerro San Luis or Madonna Mountain.
Yeah.
And you can, if it's a nice crystal clear day, you can see people hiking up there. And you've got nice music playing and you're outdoors. And because of the wall, you don't really hear all the sound of the traffic because that's a pretty busy intersection. It's right where Marsh Street comes off the Marsh Street exit.
My idea for it was that it would be almost like a vacation for your lunch break.
Okay,
somewhere where you get away from it all. My boyfriend has a very green thumb, so he keeps the plants happy. And
in fact, I had a salad there the other day that included some produce from the plants that your boyfriend grows. I think it was a kumquat or something.
We have a kumquat tree in a big wine barrel in the patio that we can pick from sometimes. It's all wiped clean now.
I thought it was a tomato. It looked like, it had been like thinly sliced tomato on my salad. And then I took a couple bites and I'm like, this is citrusy. What is this? Which citrus always works well with a salad.
They add a lovely flavor, that kind of zingy, sour, sweet to it. Kumquats are lovely.
Now, you originally worked as a sous chef up in Paso Robles?
Yes, I did at Thomas Hill Organics.
That's a really well-known spot that's nice on your resume.
I learned so much at that job. So much. The chef, Julie Simon, right when I started, decided, I'm going to take a year and I'm going to train you to be my sous chef. So I worked all year with her and she challenged me and I really learned a lot there. I don't think I could have opened the cafe without that experience to feel confident that I could do it.
So you found that there was this space available.
I actually, Lisa Patelli, who was the previous owner of Smiling Dog, it was Smiling Dog Cafe, and she sought me out because and I had known her from the past because I had worked at the co-op, and she was a regular customer there. And so she sought me out and asked, hey, do you want this cafe?
Yeah.
And would you take it off my hands? And so I ended up, with the encouragement of my boyfriend Rob, deciding, okay, I think I can do that. So
how long ago was that?
We had our 2-year anniversary March 1st of this year.
Oh, okay.
So we're just past 2 years now.
Because Anthony, our audio guy, and I went to eat there like a couple of weeks ago. I guess we saw you. And he was talking about the last time he had been there was years ago,
Yeah.
And I said, I think it's a different owner now.
Yeah, there's actually been a few different. There was like a completely raw food cafe in there. Then they did like Indian food there for a little while.
Okay.
Then Smiling Dog Cafe with Lisa running it, and now me. So
now, are you a vegetarian restaurant or full vegan?
We are vegetarian. I use eggs and cheese.
Okay.
So yeah, but most things I can change.
Yeah.
Put a little something different on it so that it can be vegan. I'm always happy to accommodate people's special diets.
So I imagine you have seen online, there's the one that I like the most is Google Trends. When people are Googling all the time.
Sure. Yeah.
And Google sort of keeps that information, and then you can look at a map of the United States or even the world in some cases, and the darker blue, like white, would mean that no one has searched that term, and then as it gets darker blue, and they do. From 2004, I think it is, until just last month, they do a kind of like a stop motion thing, and you can watch the search terms for vegan or vegetarian worldwide, and it's like the whole planet just turns blue for the most part, but really, really, really dark on the west coast of the United States and California. So it seems like you've been open for 2 years now. You're sort of striking while the iron's hot.
Yeah, I mean, there were many reasons to have the cafe be vegetarian. It was vegetarian previously. I have a tiny little kitchen, but there's not a lot of it here in town.
No, you have Bliss Cafe, and then what?
I know Big Sky gets a lot of credit for their vegetarian.
Oh, that's
food.
true.
Natural Cafe.
Natural Cafe, yeah.
But so it made sense, and as a cook. It's fun to be challenged.
Right.
What's going to appeal to people who are used to eating meat in their everyday diet and still come in and feel satisfied and, nourished from vegetarian food, so that it kind of breaks that boundary, so that it's a little more comfortable for people. So
you've done it well, because I have eaten meat most of my life, and I had a white bean burger there that was just super satisfying.
Good.
And then I was mentioning to you during the commercial break that the best sandwich I think I've ever had was this miso sandwich. I didn't even know what to expect. I'm like, a miso sandwich? Okay.
That one puzzles everybody. They're like, I guess I'll get the sandwich.
I had really strong garlic breath the rest of the day, but
I love garlic.
But it was so good. It was just such a great sandwich. It didn't need any meat. Meat would have taken away, I think, from it.
Yeah, it's true.
And that's coming from someone who I really do like meat, but I'm trying to move away from that. So thank God I have a resource like you, to help turn me on to some of these different things. I bought miso at New Frontiers the other day, and I'm like, well, she used it in a sandwich. I'm going to figure out how to use this.
Miso, I mean, it's such a versatile food. And that's the thing. It having to seek out new ingredients, try new things to make something feel complete.
Right.
And
so quinoa is good for that. That's something that's really come on the scene recently.
Yeah, quinoa it's considered a grain. It's a seed, but it has a complete protein. It's all the essential amino acids in it. So even though it's not a huge amount of protein when people think of it in terms of like turkey sandwich or quinoa,
right,
it's still going to have that, some of the protein that you need. And it's very nourishing.
I was told by somebody that if you mix quinoa with now I shouldn't have even started this sentence, but it's like anthem or elithum, or I'm gonna have to look it up during the commercial break, and I'll update people at home. But if you mix those two, it creates a totally perfect protein. And it's a lot like quinoa. It's another seed that people think
amaranth?
of as amaranth. Yes.
Amaranth.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you. If you mix those two together, that it really combines to just be.
I haven't heard that. I mean, there's the rule of thumb with the legumes and and a grain, and generally between the two, you will get a complete protein. But with amaranth, I'm not sure.
Are you inspired at the farmer's market? You probably hit up the different markets in town to see what's in season, because I noticed your menu changes daily.
I'd say maybe once to twice a week at this point it's changing. But with the new produce, I feel like it brings fresh inspiration, like spring and summer coming on.
So when you see something new, what's sparking your interest at the market right now? Is there something that you're like, oh, I love that this is in season?
Asparagus.
Yay! Okay. Yes.
I love asparagus.
Oh,
and
don't we
all?
all? It's such a short season. It grows so fast. If you know anything about asparagus, it's a really interesting crop. So, well, I just can't wait to be inspired the next time I go to your place. Roxanne Lapoyade, really appreciate having you on the show. And just thank you for the service you provide here in San Luis. It's a much needed vacation from your lunch break.
Thank you very much for having me.
All right, stick around, everyone. Just after the break, we are checking out to see what's hot at tonight's market. Jen Young, our street reporter, has the update.
It's Market Fresh on Crush 92.5 FM.
Randall White here, host of Eat, Drink, Explore Radio, with a tip for Central Coast wine tasting. Eberly Winery was recently voted Winery of the Year by the world's top sommeliers and has one of the best local tours according to Wine Spectator. Eberly Winery open daily 10 to 6, and the winery's cave tours and wine tasting always complimentary. It's easy to find, too. Located on Highway 46 East, just 3.5 miles from Highway 101. Now it's time to plan your visit. Just head to eberlywinery.com.
Seems everybody's going organic, including lawn care. Did you know communities across the country are converting their lawns, playgrounds, and playing fields to an organic care program? And it's working. You can safely control weeds and pests and have a beautiful lawn. Your kids, pets, and water supplies will be safer, and your neighbors will be green with envy. Oh, and in the long run, organic lawn care is cheaper than doing it the conventional way. Switch to organic lawn care today. Visit pesticidefreelawns.org. The folks who brought you this public service message. Check out pesticidefreelawns.org today.
California business owners, entrepreneurs, farmers, authors, and other professionals, this message is for you. We're looking to highlight those of you who give back to the community, care about the environment, and have the health of our state as part of your business model or focus. Our new California Love website is in the beta testing phase. So, during the next few months, we're offering free listings to qualified people or business entities. It's a win-win situation. You help populate our site with quality, locally owned California companies, and we help direct customers to your business or product. Simply head over to caluv.com. That's CA as in California, LUV as in a cute way to spell love.com, and enter the information for your business today. Why wouldn't you? It's easy and it's free. caluv.com, the California Love Business Recommendation Tool.
Market Fresh, broadcasting live from the heart of downtown San Luis Obispo. Here's your host, Randall White.
And welcome back to the program, everyone. You are listening to Market Fresh here on Crush 92.5. Great to have you with us. I just love Roxanne, who was just in here. Roxanne Lapuyad. She's the proprietor of Roxanne's Cafe behind Smiling Dog Yoga there on Higuera and Marsh. And just a really good person. She just walked out the door, and it was really cool to have her here in studio. All right, it is time now to find out what is going on at tonight's market. It's all about the entertainment and that sort of thing. We are joined by Jen Young. She is high on her perch there. well, she's not high. She's the perch is high above the Court Street shops, and she's got to look at tonight's entertainment and also a vendor close-up too. What do we got, Jen, tonight?
Hey, Randall. Well, I got to tell you, it's kind of chilly tonight. I'm a little cold out here.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it is. But the mood here at the market right now is kind of quiet, seems kind of mellow. Next week is Cal Poly's open house, so next week is going to be crazy. So let's call this the quiet before the storm. But we have some great entertainment tonight. And on Napomo Street, you're going to see Crustacea Jazz Band. They're a Dixieland jazz band, and it's made up of men and women, and they originated in New Orleans, which I find really interesting. And like I said, it's Dixieland jazz, so that's a little different sound than we normally get here in San Luis Obispo. Now, they played all over the U.S., even places all over the world, actually, in Japan and even France. Now, for something a little bit different, on Broad Street, Mother Corn Shuckers. I'll say that again. Mother Corn Shuckers is the band, and they're an 8-piece bluegrass band, and they actually started on the Central Coast. The members call themselves Surfabillies and Shuckadors, which is pretty interesting. And their sound, they actually call the sound they created, they call beergrass. Now, if that doesn't make you want to go watch them, I don't know what will. But their 6-part harmonies will definitely get your feet tapping. Now, on Garden Street, we have another band. It's called North Star Session, and they're a pop country band, and they're influenced by Hollywood in the 1960s and 70s, that kind of rock and roll scene. So that'll be a little more upbeat as well. Now, if you don't want to listen to music tonight and you want to take the kids to something ridiculous on Choro Street is definitely the place to go. They're a high-energy juggling and acrobatic act, and they're 2 guys, and they juggle everything from machetes and bowling balls, which I think you should take the kids, but maybe keep them a safe distance away. It's a slapstick show, but it's supposed to be very funny and very entertaining, and I think I'm going to check it out tonight. Now, lastly, on Morrow Street, we have something a little bit different. We have the Lord of the Cello, which is Marston Smith, and he plays a 6-string electric cello that he designed himself, and he's performed on The Tonight Show, Cirque du Soleil, opened for the B-52s, and even Michael Bublé. So he's a world-class musician, and I definitely recommend checking him out. His music is a little combo of symphonic rock, Celtic, and also medieval. So it's a little bit softer sound. Maybe grab a bite to eat and go check him out. Now, I went out to the Morro Bay Farmers Market this afternoon, and I learned a little bit about kiwis. Now, I have good news and I have bad news. So the good news is that there are kiwis this week. The bad news is that this is the last week. And I talked to Bob Criswell from Mallard Lake Ranch, and he had a few things to tell me.
This will be our last week. Kiwi's a winter fruit. Everything's harvested one time a year, and it's all mid-November, and goes into cold storage just like an apple would. And we pull it out as we need it. So that's why this is our last week. We're just out of kiwi. But it's a great winter fruit, high in vitamin C. That's, it just seems like the perfect fruit for, going into that winter, that cold season when you need to pump up your immune system, vitamin C.
Now, so unfortunately, this is the last week to get your kiwis if you wanted to get some. So definitely come down tonight to Farmers Market to get some. I also learned that kiwis are picked in November when they're not ripe, which I found very, very interesting. And also, little fun fact, snails are kiwis' biggest enemy.
Oh.
So I think they fight them off pretty easy. But definitely come out and check out Mallard Lake Ranch and come say hi to Bob because he's selling the rest of his kiwis tonight.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, I am a huge fan of kiwi, and I just recently learned that you can eat the skin of the kiwi, that you don't have to peel it. I've always avoided them because it was such a pain by the time you got all the skin off, I don't know that the reward balanced out the the pain. But
isn't that where all the nourishment is?
Yeah, there's a lot of nourishment in the skin, I found out, and tons of fiber. And what it is it's just like a peach skin. You know how peaches are kind of fuzzy? Kiwi has that kind of hair on it, and if you want, you can scrub it off. You don't have to, but if you just take one of those kind of heavy-duty produce scrubbers in your kitchen, just scrub the hairs off, but leave the skin on. Lots easier than peeling it, and slice it up and pop them in your mouth. They're delicious. I love kiwi. I'm bummed out to hear that this is the end of the season. You can.
I know, me too.
You can get them from other. We'll start seeing them in the grocery store from Chile and places like that. But for locally grown California kiwi, this is it.
Yeah, this is the place to be right now for some kiwi. So come down to the market and get some tonight. I know I will be there.
Yeah, get your market fresh kiwi, and we put a link to Mallard. It's Mallard Ranch Farms.
Mallard Lake Ranch.
Mallard Lake Ranch. We have a link to that under the program summaries at eatdrinkexplore.com. Jen Young, thank you so much.
Thanks, Randall.
All right, now it's time for just before they ring the bell, the Market Fresh forecast. In a word, it is breezy out there tonight. If you were watching Jen, she was all in her jacket and stuff. I don't know that it's that cold. I don't know that you need a jacket. But if you come down, wear a good, nice sweatshirt, that sort of thing. Jeans instead of shorts. We're looking for temperatures in the low 60s, but it feels a lot cooler than that because of the winds. So low 60s right now, as a matter of fact. And then at 9 o'clock, mid 50s when the market wraps up. We're looking for clear sky tonight and winds in the 20-plus range. So, yeah, it is definitely going to be breezy out there. Nothing like we saw earlier in the week, though. Shut down the Great Highway up in San Francisco because of blowing sand. Lots of great entertainment, as Jen just told us, at the market, too. Hey, if you want to find out any more information about the guests that we had on the show tonight, it's very easy to find. Just go to eatdrinkexplore.com, go to the program summary, and there you can learn all about Don Andrade and his forged knives that he makes in Los Osos. You can also read more about him again in Edible Slow, coming out this coming Monday. It's their second edition, and that is a great magazine. It's free. If you've never picked it up, I really can't recommend it more. And then also Roxanne's Cafe that's behind Smiling Dog Yoga. We need to set her up with her own website. I think I'm going to help her out with that because right now it's sort of just an extension of the Smiling Dog site. But we have a link to that too, so you can check that out as well. That does it for Market Fresh. Get out there, sink your teeth into something Market Fresh. We'll catch you back here next week.
It's Market Fresh on Crush 92.5 FM.